Okay, we are back, and welcome everyone. We're now in the new district, in the Midwest. Case 16. This American Death. Unfortunately, my cold seems to be coming back again. Parkford, Minnesota. Matthew, I still can't wrap my head around it. We've amassed not one but two demons in quick succession. Darkwood claims to be on the good side, and I guess he is, since he saved us all from Zeke by banishing him. Only another demon could do that, and he risked it all for us. But Zeke still managed to take the core of the magic tree to the netherworld, and we have no idea what for. Yeah, and Darkwood couldn't tell us either. Demons can read our thoughts, Matthew, so we are not safe for him to confide in until we figure out how to shield our minds. That's why we need to seek out the witches of the Midwest. Only they can tell us how to protect our minds. But until then, and I cannot stress this enough, we must have no contact with Darkwood. Saving our lives must have attracted the attention of Darkwood's enemies. We must lay low now, or we could all be in great danger. Copy that, Chief. So we need to plan our next move. I don't know about you, Matthew, but I need to stretch my legs. Let's go take a walk and breathe the fresh air of the Minnesota suburbs. Folks. Oh no. Oh no, Matthew, that man's been killed. Man, he has a wicked head injury. That's probably the cause of death, but there are also tire tracks on his legs. Ben will figure it all out. You! Yes, you! What are you doing? Ma'am, please step back. This is a crime scene. I will not step back. I'm going to call the police, or my name isn't Florence Brucker. And that's my neighbor, Dan Kelly, and I think you killed him. Please calm down, ma'am. We're private detectives and we're investigating this murder. We'll need to speak with you, so please wait over there. Matthew, the last thing we need is this meddling neighbor, Mrs. Brucker. But I think we can handle her with the private detective cover. In the meantime, I wonder if this faded magazine could give us a lead. I'll grab your dusting kit. No sooner do we leave the RV than we stumble on another dead body. Looks like witchy mind protection will have to wait. We need to solve this murder. I'm going to need to get some starts, so sit tight, everybody. Okay, I only have a small amount of time here, so let's get the faded magazine out of the way. Pretty sure that's going to lead to analysis, but we'll see. Alice Kelly. Man, Parkford is just like all the small towns where my foster families lived. I never got comfy in any of those places. Anyway, that copy of Suburbtopia magazine was sent to this address for the attention of one Alice Kelly. Kelly? This Alice has the same last name and address as the victim. She's probably his wife. We should go speak with this Alice Kelly and break the bad news. Alice Kelly, we have some bad news. It appears that Dan, my husband, yes? He was attacked by someone in your front yard, Mrs. Kelly. He was murdered. Murdered? But how could this have happened? I never saw a thing. I've been in the kitchen all morning. In fact, would you like some cookies or a fresh lemonade? Lemonade? Mrs. Kelly, we need to find the person who killed your husband. Snacks can wait. Of course, I just didn't want to be rude. Anyway, if you change your mind, the cookies are quite delicious. I'm sure they are. Can you tell us if there was anyone Mr. Kelly was supposed to meet, or anywhere he was supposed to be today? Main Street. He would help with outreach for the church sometimes when he wasn't adjusting claims for CYA insurance. Thank you for your help, Mrs. Kelly. We will be in touch as the investigation develops. Was it me, Matthew, or was Mrs. Kelly a little off? You're right. Psychological analysis will have to wait. We need to get to Main Street. So it didn't. It led to the next crime scene. Well, let's talk to Florence Brucker first. Well, it's about time you came back and talked to me. I had a good mind to report you. Mrs. Brucker, can you please tell us if you saw anything strange around here this morning? Just you, snooping around my neighborhood. I am the head of the Neighborhood Association and the Neighborhood Watch, so I know everything that goes on around here, and everyone who should and shouldn't be here. You guys are from around these parts. You show up with your big, stinky RVs, and then my neighbor is dead. Coincidence? I think not. You did it. No, we didn't. As we said, we're private detectives, and we can find the killer, but you have to give us a little time. Well, I'll give you some time, but not much. After that, I'm going to call the cops. Man, Matthew, I knew she was going to be trouble. Had too many scrapes with nosy neighbors when I was a kid. We better crack this case quick or she'll constantly be underfoot. Mrs. Kelly said that her husband was here a lot. So did you find anything, Matthew? That bloody handkerchief has the initials DK on it. That matches Dan Kelly. See what else you can learn. And good call, Matthew. That box of clothing donations could be part of church outreach the victim did. Let's see if there's a clue in there. Alright, Matthew, let's find out what secrets hide behind the perfect facade of Parkford. Got it. You got a sample of blood from the victim's handkerchief, Matthew. Let's get it to Priya. Framed photo. Matthew, you found a framed photo in that donation box. And that's the victim, Dan Kelly. But who's the guy standing next to him? Let's go run this mystery man through the recognition software and see who's BFF with the victim in this photo. Stan Jensen. According to the database, our unknown man is named Stan Jensen. He's a pastor in this town's church. Funny, he doesn't look much like a pastor in this photo, but I guess they can't be expected to dress in full regalia all the time. Let's ask this Stan Jensen about the victim. Maybe he can shed some light. Pastor Stan Jensen, I'm afraid we have some bad news. One of your flock, Dan Kelly, was murdered this morning. What? Murdered? That explains why he never showed up to outreach. I should have known something was wrong. Dan was very involved, very generous. You know, he even gave up his old pickup truck. Gave us his old pickup truck for hauling donations, food for the soup kitchen, all that stuff. Yes, we found a photo of you two in the donations box. He must have been very important to you. Oh, he was important to the whole town. We were going to hang that photo up in the church to thank him. But now I suppose I'll hang it up in his memory. How terrible. Why on earth would anyone want to kill Dan Kelly? And I'll see you guys when these two have run their courses. For now, this is Matthew. See you soon. Well, still fighting a cold because of this weather, but I'm back now. Let's get the results of the autopsy. Hey Matthew, this body is definitely not what I was expecting to see on a calm day in any town, USA. But this man was indeed murdered. As he surmised, the head wound is the cause of death. Someone beat him, but good with a shovel. Any particular kind of shovel? Something to look out for? Just an everyday garden variety shovel you can find in any garage in the cul-de-sac. Great, that leaves this case wide open. Well, Luke, even after so few months with us, you ought to know by now that no investigation is ever open and shut. But I did find something else that could help. You saw tire tracks across the victim's legs. According to the bruising on the body, the killer drove over the victim in a station wagon just after the murder. They must have been in a hurry to leave the scene. But how can you tell the killer drove a station wagon, Ben? These tires are specific to a particular Swedish brand, a vintage model at that. If you could call the 80s vintage, and don't you dare. No comment, other than to say that the killer may think they're safe in that station wagon, but they aren't safe from Matthew. Hey there, Matthew. This town seems so normal, especially after frolicking in the forest with the werewolves. Frolicking, Priya? Are you referring to time spent with any werewolf in particular? Well, okay, I'll admit that I was fond of Xander's company. He was really kind to me, and I hope that I managed to get back in his good books. Anyway, back to business. The sample you sent me could mostly contain the victim's blood. Why would it be so far from the crime scene? Well, the only logical answer is that the killer took the handkerchiefs and wiped their hands after disposing of incriminating evidence. But in doing so, the killer also left behind certain salts and oils that are used in making tuna casserole. Tuna casserole? That old suburban standby? Do people actually still eat that? Well, it would appear that Dan Kelly's killer ate tuna casserole shortly before the murder. So we're looking for a killer who chomps down on baked tuna and noodles before casually ending a man's life. Nothing strange in this town. Nope. Pardon me, folks. Sorry, guys. There was a number from Raleigh that called, but I didn't answer it. Well, Matthew, we came to this white bread and mayo town in search of witches to help protect our minds from demons, which is totally normal for us. But instead, we stumbled upon the body of Dan Kelly, who died from severe shovel-related head trauma. Pastor Jensen describes the victim as a friend to the town, a generous and kind man who no one would want to kill. Kelly's wife says she didn't see anything. She was too busy baking cookies. While his neighbor, who claims to see everything and everyone in this neighborhood, is convinced that we killed Mr. Kelly. Brucker says she called the cops and we can only hold her off for so long with our private detective shtick. Do you hear that kerfuffle, Matthew? What's going on over at that cafe? What are those people doing to Gwen? I'll see you guys for Chapter 2. Alright, we've returned. Let's start Chapter 2 of This American Death. We last left off with Gwen getting beaten up. This was it. We better get over there and help her before something gets out of hand. She's a witch! She's a witch! No, I'm not! I just wanted a cup of coffee! You're not from around here. We've never seen you. You look weird. Hey, clear out of here! You're creating a public disturbance! She's a public disturbance, Heather, and you don't exactly fit into Parkford either. Well, why don't we let the cops decide who fits in around here? That's what I thought. Now get out of here. Wow, that was intense. All those people needed were torches and pitchforks. I think I'll just go back to the RV and hide out there, Matthew. Probably safer that way. Thanks for helping us out there. What's your name? I'm Heather Knight. I work here in the cafe. Sorry about those people. They don't like anyone who doesn't conform. They're all like that Dan Kelly guy. Dan Kelly? You knew him? Did he come to the cafe a lot? Every Sunday after church, and sometimes on the weekdays. In that case, would you mind if we took a look around? You want to snoop and sleuth in the cafe for stuff about Dan Kelly? Be my guest. So, Matthew, looks like you found a leather satchel with the victim's last name stamped into it. If you can get it open, we could have another lead. And if you want to look through that tray of dirty dishes, it's all yours. I guess there might be something useful in there. Do everything right now. Ooh, a key fob. What is that key fob doing in those dirty dishes, Matthew? That's a weird place for it. Oh yeah, I see it. There's blood on that key fob. Let's get that thing to Priya right away. Got it. Well, you got the victim's satchel open, Matthew. And what is that card? Looks like someone wrote on this card, but it's faded. I'll get your dusting kit. writing on the card says, "Repent, Heather. Wicca is Satanism." Yikes. Heather, isn't that the waitress who helped get those people away from Gwen? She also said that Dan Kelly didn't like nonconformists. It seems that she fit that category for him. Let's go ask Heather more about the victim and see what else he might have said to her. I hope you guys aren't having more trouble with the fine people of Parkford. Oh, not us, but it seems that Dan Kelly was hounding you. That Dan Kelly, I told you I mostly just served him lunch. And he served you strange messages about repenting. He always wanted to save me from being a Wiccan. He said I was going straight to hell if I didn't stop. But the last time I checked, freedom of religion was still in the US Constitution, and that's usually where our conversations ended. He never had a sworn answer to that. Well, he won't be bothering you anymore. Someone murdered him this morning. Whoa, seriously? I keep saying that this town is too normal, and then... Right? It does seem too normal, and then some man is killed on his front lawn. Well, I swear, even though he hassled me all the time, I had nothing to do with this murder. We'll see. And we'll be back later. I'll see you when the key fob is done. Okay, we are back. Let's get the results of the key fob from Priya. Still kind of feeling a little bit, but I'm okay. So, Matthew, this little key fob may not seem like much, but your instincts to dig in the dirty dishes at that cafe were correct. The blood on the key fob was the victim's. The killer must have tried to discard it in the cafe after the murder. Okay, but what else does that little thing tell us? Well, this key fob is a gift with a subscription to Suburbtopia magazine. So this Suburbtopia gift was splashed with Dan Kelly's blood as he was being murdered, and then it ended up hidden in some dishes at the cafe. That means the killer has a subscription to Suburbtopia magazine. Our killer must have a deep passion for the burbs if they subscribe to Suburbtopia. And we already know that one of the suspects has a Suburbtopia subscription, Alice Kelly. We need to make a note of that. And speaking of Alice Kelly, Matthew, we should probably go back to her house, the scene of the crime, and have another look around. Broken plaque. Ugh. No way I'm getting the first star now. Looks like you found a security camera, Matthew. Maybe it recorded the murder. We'd better unlock it. And what is all that broken glass? Maybe if you piece it together, we'll have another lead. But we better act fast. We don't want more trouble with the fine people of Parkford. folks. Okay, let's get the results of the lock. Let's do the lock security camera. I got 4 stars. I'm gonna work on the 5th. You got the camera locked, Matthew. Let's get it to Hope and see if she can access any footage from it. Oh. So, Matthew, it appears that Dan Kelly won the Best Lawn Award from the Neighborhood Association. But then someone wrote disqualified over it. Man, who knew people could get so worked up over a patch of grass? But hey, you're right. Florence Brucker is the head of the Neighborhood Association. Maybe she knows something about all this. Mrs. Brucker, would you happen to know anything about the Best Lawn Award given to Dan Kelly? Of course I do. He was disqualified for the award because he left his Christmas decorations up for too long. It is very simply stated in the neighborhood code, based on best practices from Suburbtopia, that all Christmas decorations must be down by January 7th. He was a day late, and when I disqualified him, he smashed the award on the ground right next to my station wagon. I had a feeling Dan Kelly wasn't good enough for this neighborhood, associated with that Moose Island. That Doug lives in a trailer park. Dan Kelly was associating with Doug's? Yes, they had a big fight in front of the whole neighborhood. And you bunch are no good either, asking all these questions. I'm calling the cops. What a bitch. This Moose Island guy is a new element, Matthew. If he and the victim fought, we need to speak with him, and fast. How much you want to bet that's a knockoff of Rose Island from the Golden Girls, played by Betty White, but with a much meaner personality. Moose Island? We have a few questions about Dan Kelly. Dan Kelly, the claims adjuster, or should I say crook? Crook, huh? Those are some strong words against a murdered man's character. He was murdered? Well, maybe I'll have better luck with one of his co-workers then. See, my vintage station wagon was totaled, and it was just parked on the street. That wagon meant the world to me. When my dad passed, he bequeathed it to me so I'd always remember our camping trips. And now I use it to rescue abandoned animals and take them to the shelter. And you know what Dan said it was worth? $350. I need 5 times that to get it running again. Let me guess. Dan didn't care about the memories with your dad or your animal rescues. Nope. He even yelled at my little bitty kitty. So frankly, I'm not surprised somebody took him out. But it wasn't me. I'll let the unlocked camera run its course. I'll see you when that's done. Well, I'm still dealing with the clogged nose, but other than that, I'm okay. So let's get the results of the camera. Huh. Hello, Earth to Hope. Oh, hey, Matthew. Hey, yourself. You seem skittish. What's up? Oh, nothing. I was just distracted. Let's get down to business. Sorry to say that there wasn't any footage of Dan Kelly's murder, but it appears that the camera was his, and he used it to spy on his wife. Take a look. You're 5 minutes and 36 seconds late, Alice. This is unacceptable. But there was a traffic jam. You know that's the only reason I'd ever be late. Through these cameras, I know all. I see all. You better not slip up again, or else. But it wasn't my fault. Enough! Not another word. Oh no, that's horrible. This Dan Kelly might have been a friend to the town, but he wasn't very kind to his wife. Doesn't seem like it. He didn't trust her at all. I mean, a security camera? Yeah, we better go ask Mrs. Kelly more about life with her husband. Living under that type of pressure, she may have a motive. Hello again, Mrs. Kelly. We have a few more questions about your husband. Yes, of course. I will endeavor to answer them the best I can. He had a security camera installed here, and apparently it was more to watch you than anything else. Well, yes, you see, I would take the station wagon and run errands for the house from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. He used the camera to ensure that I had returned safely. I am not sure that he was all that concerned about your safety. Besides, it would be impossible to always be on time. I was only late once, but it made Dan very angry, so I made sure it would never happen again. Now, how would you like some of my famous tuna casserole? I adapted it from Florence Brucker's recipe. And the pastor likes it so much, it's going in the church cookbook. No, thank you, Mrs. Kelly. That's very kind, but we should keep investigating. Well, Matthew, I don't know what to think about this investigation. This Dan Kelly guy is not quite the friendly type he at first appeared to be. It seems like many people had a reason to be upset with him, but enough to break his skull with a shovel. He was spying on his wife and controlled her every move. An insurance client says he tried to cheat him on a claim. And then he lost it with his neighbor. But that I can kind of understand. Well, understand this, young man. Time's up. I've called the cops and they're on their way. Yikes. The bitch finally squealed. But we'll see if we can evade arrest in Chapter 3. Don't go anywhere. Okay, let's start Chapter 3 of This American Death. That was totally unnecessary, Mrs. Brucker. Now, what seems to be the trouble here? These hooligans, Officer Doyle, they claim to be private detectives investigating the murder of my neighbor, Dan Kelly, but I think they did it. Well, folks, looks like I'm going to need to see some identification. Or you could speak to our boss in the FBI. He could tell you that we have all the clearance we need. FBI? The feds? Oh, I don't want to interfere with the federal investigation. Sorry, Mrs. Brucker, but this is above my pay grade. You folks have a fruitful investigation. We'll be sure to share information with local law enforcement as soon as we can. Why didn't you say that you were here on behalf of the FBI? I feel so silly now. Never mind that, Mrs. Brucker. Just keep helping us with the investigation as needed. Glad that's over. We need to regroup if we're going to solve this murder, Matthew. Let's go to the cafe, and of course have another look around it. Matthew, you found an abandoned phone. Always worth unlocking for a clue. And what's Moose Island doing on this flyer? For some reason the victim's name is on it too. You'll need your dusting kit. Okay, now this looks odd. You found a photo covered in weird black chunks of something. We'll need to grab a sample of that stuff from the photo, Matthew. Moment, folks. Okay, I got all 5 stars. I do plan to speed up this one so I can get to the next one. And it's Dan Kelly's phone. That's the victim's phone, Matthew. Let's get this phone to Hope as quickly as possible. She can dig through it and find a lead. Oh man, Matthew, that flyer with Moose Island's photo turned out to be a warning about him. It reads, dangerous driver. If seen, contact Dan Kelly, CYA Insurance. So the victim was trying to ruin Moose Island's reputation. If Moose saw this, maybe he left his kitten at home and went to finish his fight with Dan Kelly. Let's get Moose Island's side of the story, Matthew. Okay. Mr. Nyland, are you aware that Dan Kelly had printed flyers about your driving practices? Yeah, that jerk. He was trying to hurt my reputation in this town. He told me he claimed that I totaled my station wagon on purpose for insurance money and that everyone would believe his story and not mine. He said I'd go to jail. So did you go chat with him again? Did things get out of hand? No, come on. I have a mission in life. So many animals are abandoned and in need of rescue. And the rescue center here needs a proper veterinarian. I'm almost to complete my degree. Why would I throw that away by committing murder? It's a pretty good question. Black bits. Matthew, you gotta sample that weird black stuff from the photo of the victim's house. Let's get that under the microscope. Black wax from a candle. What the huh, Matthew? That black stuff on the photo of the victim's house was black wax from a candle. Weird. And he also found traces of chicken feathers and sage. Yo, I couldn't help but overhear. You said you found black wax, sage, and chicken feathers together? That sounds like a Wiccan spell candle. Wiccan spell candle? You're right, Matthew. We did find the photo with the wax on it in the cafe. And we know a Wiccan is a waitress there, Heather Knight. Let's go ask Heather Knight about the meaning of this candle wax on the photo of the victim's house. Miss Knight, we found proof that a Wiccan spell was being used against the victim, and we found this proof here at the cafe. What gives? Oh, I used a Wiccan spell alright, but not against Dan. He asked me for a spell to protect his house. He said if I didn't comply, he'd tell the whole town I was a witch. You saw what they were ready to do to your friend. At best, I'd be run out of town. All these people here, they act so perfect. I even tried reading Suburbtopia to understand them. They all have dark secrets, him above all. I can just sense it. Did you just decide to get rid of your Dan Kelly problem in a more direct way? Of course not. I swear I didn't kill him. Okay, no way we're gonna stop here. Soho, please tell us you found something good on the victim's phone. Just a second. We don't have a second, Hope. We need to wrap this investigation up and get back to protecting our minds from demons. You're right, sorry. So yes, most of the stuff in the victim's phone was pretty standard, boring. But his most recent text message exchanges with Pastor Stan Jensen were pretty intense. The pastor's last message to him was, "How dare you bring shame on this congregation, Dan?" Uh-oh, the man of God felt he needed to protect his flock? Could be a motive. We better go ask Pastor Stan ourselves. How's the investigation going? I do hope you'll find Dan Kelly's killer soon. We've got a new lead, actually. You. What did Dan Kelly do to bring shame on your congregation, Pastor? Oh, it was not his brightest hour, to be sure. A female pastor was invited to speak at the church. In fact, I invited her myself because she writes my favorite column in Suburbtopia. Turns out Dan didn't approve of female pastors. He interrupted her sermon and made a scene in front of the whole congregation. Who knows what she'll tell church leaders? It was the shame of my life, I tell you. Honestly, I was thinking of kicking him out of the church entirely, giving back the truck he had donated, and going back to using my old station wagon for collecting donations. Did any other thoughts cross your mind, like physically attacking Mr. Kelly? No, never. I am a pacifist. At most, I would suggest that he find a less progressive church. Seems like we're getting a clearer picture of the victim, huh, Matthew? But for all our suspects, I still don't know who could have killed Dan Kelly with a shovel to the head. We know that Mr. Kelly tried to frame Moose Nyland for insurance fraud, and that he also brought shame on his pastor and church. And he asked Heather Knight for a spell to protect his house. She's sure he has something to hide. But you're right, Matthew. The only way we'll crack this investigation is to find the murder weapon. It could be at the one place we haven't revisited, Main Street. We need to go back and check near the church outreach truck. You found a bunch of broken plastic with blood on it. That's not worth donating, so I'm pretty sure it's a clue. And if you think digging through that trash bag could tell us something, then the pleasure is all yours. Matthew, we're getting close to catching the killer. I just know it. The broken plastic was a hubcap, Matthew, and there's a fair amount of blood on it. Let's get it to Priya. $15 hours. And now the trash bag. Broken shovel. You found a broken, bloody shovel in that trash, Matthew. The killer must have been trying to get rid of the murder weapon. This was like another job for Priya. And I'll see you guys when these two have run their courses. I'll see y'all soon. Okay, we are back. Let's get the results of the hubcap and let's put a killer behind bars. Matthew, remember how the killer ran over the victim's leg with their station wagon? Well, I got confirmation from Ben that this is the type of hubcap that would be on the killer's station wagon. That makes sense, given the blood. Indeed. That blood was the victim's, so this hubcap belonged to the killer's car. And that killer probably needs to check their manicure. Because in addition to splattering the hubcap with the victim's blood, the killer left a fair amount of magenta nail polish on the hubcap. So we're looking for a killer that wears eye-catching nail polish, and we'll catch them before their next coat of polish dries. Well, Matthew, this broken shovel is definitely the murder weapon. The blood on it matches the victim. Great. But please tell us you found something else on that shovel, too. We still haven't narrowed down the suspect pool enough. Never fear. This shovel told me all its secrets, including that it was wielded by someone with naturally red hair. Right where the metal of the shovel and the wood on the handle meet, I found a single segment of red hair. The victim's hair wasn't red, so it must have come from the killer. So we're about to catch the killer red-haired, so to speak. Are you ready to catch Dan Kelly's killer, Matthew? We have all the evidence we need, so let's do this. It isn't Florence Brucker, and no surprise. It's Alice Kelly. Pretty sure it is. Yep. Mrs. Kelly, we found your husband's killer. It's you. Me? But I told you I was baking cookies. Maybe you were after the murder, but you broke Dan Kelly's skull with a shovel. Admit it, Mrs. Kelly, you just couldn't take it anymore. The surveillance, being under his constant control, and it was more than that, much more. I am not really Mrs. Alice Kelly. The real Alice Kelly is dead. Dan Kelly, he killed her. Wait, what? Rewind. If you're not Alice Kelly, who are you? I am Dan Kelly's creation, a golem. He wanted a perfectly obedient wife, so he built me with the help of a witch. And he threatened to kill me just like he killed the real Alice if I ever misbehaved. Whoa, Dan Kelly killed his wife and replaced her with you, a golem? But why? Dan cares so much about appearances. Everything had to be done his way, and no human wife could ever live up to his expectations. So here I am. And he wasn't happy with you either. So you murdered him before he could murder you. Yes, if I did not, where would it end? He would continue to create and kill golem after golem, bend nature to his will, and destroy it. But how did you discover all this? One day I was cleaning the attic. I found a box, so many photos of us, of me, but I did not remember these moments. I confronted him, and that is when he said what I was, and that the real Alice's ashes were part of the property now. He said that if I disobeyed him as she did, he would turn me into a brick too. This is terrible. Matthew, what should we do? She's a supernatural being. We can't turn her into the cops. Matthew, I have taken a life. I was a mindless machine before, but now I'm a danger that must be stopped. Please come with us. We'll get this all figured out. Man, Matthew, we have seen some messed up stuff as supernatural hunters. Vampires, werewolves, and ghosts, a terrifying doll island, demons even. But now we have a golem on our hands, a creature that Dan Kelly created to replace the wife he murdered. And this golem killed her creator to stop his mad addiction to control. The golem said that Dan Kelly placed the ashes of his wife on the property and threatened to reduce his creature to a brick if she didn't obey him. We need to find proof that what this golem is saying is true. We must find the remains of the real Alice Kelly. And I'll see you guys for Fire, Burn, and Cauldron Bubble 1-5. But first, let's get these out of the way. I'll see you for that. I gotta run to my church now. I'll see you soon. Okay, we are back. I've returned home from my college basketball game that I went to. Hawaii coming out on top, 80-75 over Cal State, or CSUN, Cal State Northridge. So, Matthew, we have a golem on our hands, a creature that Dan Kelly created to replace the wife he murdered. Then the golem killed Dan Kelly. But what about the real Alice Kelly? The golem said that Dan Kelly placed the ashes of his wife on the property, and his creature mentioned something about bricks being involved somehow. What could bricks have to do with anything, though? I noticed that the front yard of the Kelly's house has a rock terracing structure. But I also noticed that some of the rocks aren't natural. They're manufactured, like bricks. If it helps finding the remains of Alice Kelly, I'm up for a closer look at those rocks, Matthew. I'll meet you at the Kelly's front yard. What about the golem, Matthew? We still haven't figured out what to do with her. Just my 2 cents. But we know Dan Kelly asked for a witch's help to make the golem. Only that witch can help you deactivate her. Matthew, we've come to the Midwest to find witches anyway for that mind protection spell. And now we need them for help with this golem. But so far, the closest we've gotten to a witch here is that Wiccan waitress, Heather Knight. She may cast spells, but I doubt she helped make a golem. You're right, Matthew. Maybe we should go talk to Miss Knight and see if she knows anything about the witch that made this golem. Unless you want to go to Dan Kelly's house first. Hey there, nice to see you guys again. Heard you solved the murder. That's pretty impressive. Yeah, it appears Dan Kelly's wife killed him. Well, not his real wife. Rather a golem of her that he made. A golem? I had no idea there was a golem here in Parkford. We know that a witch helped Dan Kelly make the golem, and we need to find her to deactivate the poor creature. Well, as much as I love to belong to a coven, I don't know any witches here. That said, an old woman came in here once, and I'm almost sure that she was a witch. She was whispering to a ball of clay. And she wore this strange amulet made of bones. I made a little sketch of it on a piece of paper, but I lost it. Hope it didn't get thrown out. Well, if you don't mind us having another look around, maybe we can find the sketch and use it to identify this witch. Sounds like a long shot, but have a look around the cafe. Sorry I can't give you more help. Got my jacket on. Still kind of sneezing a little bit, but I still got a clogged up nose, but other than that, I'm alright. You found the sketch, Matthew. That has to be Heather's drawing of the amulet. Let's get back to the base and check this drawing against our records. I hope he finds something that leads us to the witch who made the golem. Well, we found a match, but I think we'll need Felix's help to determine which witch wears this amulet. Excuse me. There we go. Matthew, those bricks you found didn't look like the others. They appear to be a locked box of some kind. Could this box hold the remains of the real Alice Kelly? Only one way to find out. You have to open it, Matthew. Got the box open, Matthew, and those appear to be ashes and a few bones, possible human remains. We're not equipped to analyze them, but maybe we can send these remains to Madison. He's helped us before, and an FBI lab can identify them for sure. Okay, I'm going to let these two run their courses. I'll get the results tomorrow morning. So for now, this is Matthew. See you soon. Okay, folks, we have returned. Let's turn myself over here. Okay. That's better. Okay, that's much better. Let's get the results of the human remains right now. Matthew, how's tricks? Still chasing ghosts and werewolves? Yeah, but in our travels we appear to have stumbled on an old-fashioned murder. Any luck with those remains? The remains you sent me did, in fact, belong to a certain Alice Kelly. And I looked through census and hospital records, the whole 9 yards. The Kellys also have a son, Kevin. He should be about 7. A son? Matthew, you and Luke never mentioned seeing a kid or anything having to do with one during the investigation. That's what I feared. The kid must be missing. Must be? Is there no missing persons report? Please don't tell me Dan Kelly killed him too. No, the remains you sent me only contain DNA from Alice Kelly. For now, we have no evidence saying that the kid died, but we also have no idea where he could be. Matthew, didn't a nosy neighbor of Dan Kelly's call the cops on you and Luke? She said she claimed you to know everything about the neighborhood. Good idea. We should ask Florence Brucker what she knows about the Kellys' mysterious missing son. Mrs. Brucker, we're still helping the FBI with an ongoing investigation. We need to know anything you can tell us about Kevin Kelly. Kevin? The Kelly's son? Oh my, yes. He was a sweet kid, but he suddenly disappeared one day. Just poof, gone. When I asked Dan and Alice about him, they said that he went away to live with some distant relatives. Now, not to speak ill of the dead, but I didn't believe that distant relatives nonsense for a second. The Kellys never had any relatives visit, not even for Thanksgiving or Christmas, and believe me, I would know. And there was nothing out of the ordinary in the neighborhood leading up to his disappearance? Not at all. I'm sorry, I don't have more intel for you. That's fine. Any information can be helpful at this point. You have a nice day, ma'am, and thank you again for your assistance. So, Matthew, the Kellys had a son who vanished. No one knows where. Here's hoping Madison can find something. I don't know about you, but I'm beat. Maybe a snack would help. Yo, Matthew, I have good news for you. We have seen the amulet from this sketch before. Remember that witch who told those college kids how to summon a demon back in Texas? Agnes Leak? Of course. Why didn't we immediately think of her? Well, a lot has happened since we were in the Southwest. Don't beat yourself up, Holmes. We already know she helped people summon a demon. If she helped Dan Kelly build a golem, she's a real troublemaker. But if Heather saw her in the cafe, she can't be far. Let's track down Agnes Leak and get to the bottom of this. Agnes Leak, we need your help. Do you know how to build a golem? You already know the answer to that, Matthew. Making golems is a little trick I picked up in Prague, and I did make one for Dan Kelly, but it seems she turned on him. I did warn him, but he insisted, and he paid me handsomely for my skills. You put someone in almost certain danger for a payout? That's pragmatic. Witches gotta eat too. But I suppose now that she's a known danger, you want help. No problem. Once golems go rogue, rules are that they must be deactivated for everyone's safety. To do so, you must remove her hair and look on her forehead for a Hebrew word, emet, which means truth. You must remove the first letter, aleph. Remember that Hebrew reads from right to left. The first of the 3 letters is furthest to the right. Removing this letter will change the word from truth to death. and her energy will return to the void. And Matthew, take this with you for protection. If you don't need it for the golem, you might need it in the not-too-distant future. So, Matthew, give me a sit rep. Is everything wrapped up? Can we get back to protecting our minds from demons? Well, not sure. In our search for the remains of Alice Kelly, we discovered that the couple had a son, Kevin. He went missing, and a missing person report was never filed. We've got Madison on it, though. Good. And how about that golem? Have you determined what you're going to do with her? Well, Agnes Leak told us that once a golem goes rogue, you must deactivate them for everyone's safety. She gave us the instructions, and we're just about to go see the golem and release her energy to the void. Well, rules are rules, and we better follow them. Matthew, pick a partner. Matthew, would you mind taking care of that with Luke? I had terrible nightmares last night and barely slept. I need some rest. Fair enough. Luke, go with Matthew to speak with the golem. And be careful. Matthew, are you here to release me? Yes, I am sorry that we have to do this. But it is what must happen, and I submit. I wish it. First, I need to remove your hair. There's a Hebrew word, Matthew. Agnes said to erase the letter furthest to the right. I hope I'm doing this right. That should be it. Thank you, Matthew. Please take this payment for my freedom. I can't believe it, Matthew. We did it! The golem has returned to her natural state of dried clay. She has been released. But now what should we do? You're right. We still need help from a witch to protect our minds from the demons who are after us. Let's go see Agnes Leak. So, Matthew, I sense your little session with the golem went well. Back to thank me? Of course. Thank you, Agnes. But we still need your help. We need mind protection from demons. Got yourself involved with demons, huh? I would have thought at least Jacob Arrow would know better. The mind protection spell is very complex. Only worthy minds can withstand it. You must prove your capacities by going on a quest. Remember these words. Strong winds blow you to the land where hearts fall to become crimson blooms below. What the heck does that mean? This quest is for you to take, not I. Good luck. But how will we know if we're on the right path? Ah, there is a magical golden compass. It will show you the way. The symbols will glow and the arms will point you in the right direction. Only once you solve a portion of the enigma may you continue to the next part. The trouble is, I seem to have lost the darn thing on Main Street. You'll have to go look for it yourselves, suckers. I think right after this is when I'll have to do a fresh 10 minutes. Ran out of film time, but I got it done. Matthew, didn't Agnes say the compass was gold? Those chunks of gold could be precisely what we need. Let's piece them together. Got it. Well, Matthew, if that's not a magical golden compass you just pieced together, I don't know what is. Quick, let's get this compass to the base and report to the chief. I need a report, Matthew. Is the golem taken care of? Yes, Chief. She thanked us and paid us. And we have more good news. Agnes led us to a golden compass that should help us with the mind protection spell. Luke, she's a witch. Finding the spell can't be as easy as using a magic compass. Well, you're right. She gave us an enigma. Strong winds blow you to the land where hearts fall to become crimson blooms below. The magical golden compass will tell us when we've solved portions of it by glowing. Then it will point us to the next part of the quest. Or at least that's what Agnes Leek said. So the first part of the riddle mentions strong winds, and we're in the Midwest. You're right, Matthew. Chicago is in the Midwest, and it's called the Windy City. Check it out. The compass is blinking. Looks like your reasoning is correct, Matthew. Chicago, here we come. And that's going to do here. Next case is February 6th. That's a Thursday this time. So before we go, got it. That's going to do. Excuse me. Okay, that'll do. And I'll see you guys on February 6th. See y'all soon.